Hello, everyone. Hello. Still got a couple minutes just for my grace period. Make sure everything is good here. I'm gonna give some people a second to get ready to come on and join in today. Yes. I should totally have some music playing. Hello, if you're just coming in. Just want to say hello to you. All right, I am not going to take too long today to kind of wait for anybody to join. My name is Christian Shields, and on Thursdays, I do Ask Christian sessions, and these sessions are to kind of help raise awareness, to also educate, empower us to have normal conversations about various topics. It looks like we've been focusing on mental health a lot. We've been basically talking about we've shared experiences of someone's mental health journey. We've also talked about business so far. And as you can see, that I have a lot of interests. So social work, social change, faith, ministry, business, lifestyle, just normalizing conversation around things that affect us on a daily basis. And I think that it's very important that we begin to have these conversations for the sake of just growing ourselves, for the sake of feeling normal, for the sake of reducing the levels of people like just feel heavy and feel like they're like not wanted, or people feel as though people don't understand them. Well, the sole purpose of these conversations is to really get people to a place of feeling comfortable to be able to talk about some experiences that they are having. And I think it's so important that we open up that door and be gatekeepers for people to be able to experience that. I think it's really important that we create a world around I think it's very important that we create a world around having conversation and having dialogue amongst each other to help each other grow. And so, again, my name is Christian Shields. I am a social worker, and I'm also the founder and creator of My Secrets Purpose Conference. So today's conversation kind of came about. The focus on mindset came about because I realized that as I am just in school and diving deeper into new insights and getting involved in new projects and meeting new people and gaining more understanding, I realized that I began to hit a barrier somewhat in thinking. And I was struggling trying to figure out how do we get past those mindset shifts when we feel like there's a ceiling, when it feels like we've hit a place that like no one understands what you're experiencing, no one understands what you are talking about, no one gets the concept of growing in your mind. And so with me taking on new things and with me progressing in different roles and having more responsibilities added to my plate, I realized that the human experience requires us to really understand the concept of setting our minds in positions to be able to grow and to feed it. But I also realized that the way that the human mind conceives growing mentally is based off of experiences, it's based off of intentions, it's based off of some sort of spiritual guide. And I think we run into a place of like, how does all of that integrate? How does all of that come together to create a mindset shift or growth that happens amongst us so that we can actually feel as though we are progressing in life? And I don't know about some of you, but I do know that sometimes is one of the hardest things to do. It's hard to change your mind about new things. It's hard to gain new perspectives. It's hard to understand new concepts about how to do things in life. But I also understand that in order for us to progress, we have to learn how to apply wisdom. We have to learn how to apply the knowledge that we learn. And we have to also take those two components to gain a greater understanding so that we are able to actually know what it is that we are here to do, or know what we want to do here in life. Because ultimately, I really believe that we are all in a place of trying to figure life out. We are trying to find out what it is that we do and do well. And I'm not just talking in like gaining business. I'm talking about in relationships. I'm talking about in even in your work life, whatever you find yourself in or doing, you have to come to a place where you're like, do I believe in this fully? Do I understand what I'm doing fully? Because it may feel like you haven't accomplished or achieved anything if you don't fully understand it, and you'll feel stuck. And so the whole purpose of talking about growth is to understand the difference in how you being stagnant in your thinking can lead to you not actually can lead to like a rabbit hole, right, of feeling as though you are nowhere. And then I think, how many times have you like had to have those conversations with yourself about like, I can't do this, or I can do this, or what am I doing, and why, what does this matter, and how are we getting anywhere? And I know it sounds like I'm going down a long list of no's or can'ts right now of what happens in your mindset. And I'm doing that because the reality is a lot of people are living on a daily basis with the stunt mindset because they don't understand how to get past a certain thought, because it's lived with them so long that it became their new normal. And so when I think about like growth mindsets and what that actually includes and what that actually looks like for a lot of people, it really requires you to have to get to a level of understanding that says, where you look at things on a higher level of understanding. So you start having to dive deeper into understanding what things really are versus applying your own knowledge or understanding of what it is. And I'm saying that because I've realized that there are people that create things or make things up in their minds, and they make it feel like they make it true to themselves, even though they don't have supportive facts or evidence that supports whatever that thought may be. And I realize that sometimes that can be the cause of you not having stronger relationships, or you not actually strengthening your ability to live a life that allows you to feel fulfilled. And I know a lot of people don't like to touch or talk about that, but how many times have you had a conversation with someone and you like, nah, you kind of just put your own spin on that, and it really doesn't have enough supportive evidence to even make sense? So if you all have been following like some of my posts this week, it had a lot to do with kind of releasing yourself from the care perspectives of other people, because I realized that a growth mindset is an individual thing. It's a personal thing. It doesn't require the help or support of other people in order for you to have an achieved mindset that feels as if you are going somewhere. And I think when we take our reliance on other people's perspectives and push those out to the left or the right or wherever you want to sit them, you could begin to walk into what you really want and what you really desire. And in order to do that, that means you have to also stop considering the things that are for you based off what you see other people doing, or based on what you feel or believe you should be doing, but actually take some time to sit with yourself to identify, is that your purpose? Is that what you're good at? Is that your expertise? Because if there's ever a time to be still and to get into alignment, that time would be now. And I'm not saying, oh, this is the time that somebody set aside for. No, I'm saying that you have to realize what season you're in. You have to realize what place you are in right now and what's happening around you. And if your situations and your circumstances are basically saying that this is the time for you to do something different so that you can get new results in life, which means that you are going to have to entering into a place where you abandon those mindsets or those thoughts that cause you to continue to think the same, that reap the same results. And a lot of times people want to ask, they want to know, how do you do that? the honest truth about all of that is that you make up your mind to do that. So the trick about the word mindset is you literally, your mind is set on something new, and then you begin to experience what that step-by-step process is of taking those layers or taking those experiences and peeling those back so that you can begin to have a greater understanding of yourself. And I wish there was some magic way to say that you can actually do that and achieve and do what you want without ever having to do that. But the reality is, unless you actually do the work and take that step-by-step journey to kind of peeling back what it is that you experience, you will be exactly where you are. And it is going to require you to have to, like I said, abandon some thoughts. It's going to require you to have to change your mind about some things, to be more specific, to be clear about what you want, to be clear about what you desire, to set some real goals that are measurable, to set some goals that can be tracked. And if you don't believe that, like, I went years without actually setting goals and saying that, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. I went years setting goals, but never actually doing the step by step of how I'm going to achieve that goal. It may look like you going back to school. It may look like you finishing school. It may, if you're on a journey to financial freedom, it may look like you having to, get clear and finish out paying off some debt. It may require you to have to hire a creditor, hire someone to help you with your credit. It may look like you having to hire someone that is of their expertise to help you accomplish and achieve what it is that you want. But if you do nothing, you gain nothing. And I think it's important that we get to that concept of we don't feel sorry for ourselves or sorry for other people when they aren't experiencing what they want to experience in life. And apply some accountability, apply some pressure behind those people to kind of challenge them to start moving forward and moving down a direction that is going to allow them to actually get where they want. I think I've got this thing now with family that I'm not just going to say that sounds good or yeah, that looks good. I'm going to actually give you some hard feedback and give you some work to do. I'm going to challenge you to kind of dig a little bit deeper. And I think that was one of the hardest things for me getting to a whole new mindset shift, was because I had a lot of people that was like, that sounds good or that looks good and that's great. But you got to really get in a habit of surveying the people around you. You may not think that the people that you surround yourself with, matter, and they could be your people for a long time. But you also may have to actually, you can love them, but you may have to actually find some new people that can help you achieve the goals and desires that you have set out for your life. Because if you don't, you may feel stagnant. You may feel stuck, and then also understanding that, even though you set a plan out for something, that it doesn't happen right away. You got to give yourself that patience that you need to see your steps in action to actually come to life. You got to give yourself that opportunity, to actually start seeing things change and seeing things progress and seeing things become better. No seed is planted and you reap the next day. Like, I don't know any vegetable that grows like that. I don't know any plant that grows like that. I don't know even life that grows like that. So the reality is, whatever you set your sights on and whatever you want to do, you are limited by yourself. You are basically the denominator of what eliminates you from having and achieving a growth mindset and actually accomplishing and achieving things. And that may suck to hear, but the reality is, ask people with the experience, ask people that you see that are actually living the life that they want to live. And they will basically tell you it's setting your mind on new insights. It's setting yourself up to accomplish new things. It's strengthening the weak areas of your mind that make you feel like you can't do it, or make you feel like it's not yours, or makes you feel like you don't have enough. It makes you feel like you're incapable of doing anything. And allow yourself to actually position yourself yourself in a place to say, I want more for my life, but in order to have more for my life, I'm going to have to do more for my life. But in order to do more for my life, I'm going to have to get rid of some things in my life. And a lot of people don't understand that that's basically the process. You don't just get to a certain place. You have to eliminate the fixed mindsets that you have. That may include some traditions that you uphold, that you live by, that you never even realized what the true purpose behind those traditions were. You're going to have to really begin to teach yourself that there's a whole new world that you probably haven't even experienced, but it's out there, and it may require you to have to dream big or expose yourself to a new reality. Or it may require you to have to even position yourself to say, at this time, I may have been living out a lie, and that may sound crazy, but I literally know people who live a lie. Like, they have lied so much that they believe those lies, and that has become like their every day of living, and they don't understand how to get out of that mindset. So make sure that you are honest with yourself, that you are being truthful with yourself about your journey, and being truthful with yourself about who you are, and being truthful with yourself about what it is that you want to do, so that as you grow and you change, you don't feel like you have to uphold to the way that people used to know you, or the way that people think they knew you. You don't have to live up to the expectation of other people, and neither do you have to be a prisoner or held captive to the way people first met you. You can literally enter into a new mindset just by making a decision that you want more for yourself, that you want more for your life. But to have more, you have to do more. To gain more, you have to do more. You have to actually take the steps, and you have to be honest with who you really are, because remember, you live out what you told yourself that you are. You live your own truths. And so you want to make sure that you are putting yourself in a place to actually create impact, but impact people in a way where you've already allowed yourself to impact your own life. You can't. I see a lot of people who I see a lot of things, right? So you see people who want to be quick to change the community, or want to be quick to change somewhere else, but they haven't mastered changing anything in their own lives. So it's a lot of good talk out here. It's a lot of false humility. It's a lot of people out here that have like these created concepts and philosophies in their mind, and they live those out, and they teach those. And you want to just make sure that you are, whatever you are teaching and providing to other people, that it's not necessarily about getting what you want, or putting yourself on the forefront, or trying to win other people over, or convince people about a certain way of life that they can have. It's about making sure that you have some integrity, and you live that life the way that you are trying to teach other people to live. And you're like, well, what does that have to do with mindset? Well, the way that your mind is set up is the way that you gain in life. It's the way that you are able to succeed. It's the way that you begin to create your step-by-step plan to achieve new things. It's the way that you're able to hold conversations. It's the way that you maintain relationships. It's the way that you're able to build your confidence. It's the way that you foster and develop your character. And so that has a lot of what you are. The makeup of you is based on what you believe about yourself. It's based off the existence that you've been living in. And if you don't like the existence you have been living in, don't invite anybody to live in that same existence with you until you have figured out how you want to be better, and what you can do to make life better for yourself. And I believe that we have to be in the place to be leaders, to teach what we have mastered, in order for us to actually gain a world of social change, and gain a world of new insights and better people. And I think that's the better idea about life. It's not just about going gung-ho and pitchforks and knives about what you believe, what you have conceived in your mind, but it is about what you believe. And so I'm looking here how Larry said imposter syndrome. I think that there's imposter syndrome is it's a little different. A little bit when it comes to imposter syndrome, because the imposter syndrome is basically it's like taking on the psychological pattern of constantly feeling like you're not good enough, constantly feeling like you're a fraud, or you live in constant fear, and you can't get out that way of thinking. And I think that you bring up something that is so good to talk about, because a lot of people, you see a lot of people, I'm gonna say this, leave mental health to the mental health professionals, because I see some people calling anxiety, calling depression anxiety and anxiety depression, when really those are two separate things. And so I think that we label ourselves in ways that may not actually be fruitful to us gaining better understanding of how we function and operate as individuals. And so as you begin to like learn more about yourself and connect with the professionals and the people that can help you gain new insights and know more about yourself, you'll be able to know where you really are, because you'll be able to kind of move yourself out of the place of constant doubt of your abilities and constant doubt of what it is you think you are. And like I said, this conversation was really to develop or talk about how to find new factors to change the narrative of your thoughts, because what we really fight is what we think about ourselves. That's what we're constantly looking at. That's what we're constantly changing. That's the moment that we're all trying to live beyond that wall that we surround ourselves with, that makes us hate ourselves, that makes us feel like we aren't getting anywhere, we aren't making progress, because growth is a constant change. Growth is a living experience, which means that you're constantly going to evolve based off what you experience and what it is that you want for yourself. But the way that you begin to see that outcome and output in your life is simply by allowing yourself to welcome in new perspectives, learn new perspectives, live those perspectives, and then teach those perspectives once you understand how they operate in your life. And the growth mindset is something that you allow your skills, your skills, your abilities to constantly develop, to create a new practice, effort in your life, which means that's how you're going to begin to carry out what it is that you want. That means by that time that you're growing in your mind, you've already conquered mental toughness that will allow you to overcome any setbacks that you face. It'll allow you to still have inspiration after something didn't go the way you want it to. It provides endless opportunities in your life to help you figure out new things and to overcome failure and to overcome parts of you that feel like you're not learning and progressing. It'll allow you to help become a master of yourself, to master your own skills, and to practice new habits that are that benefit you. Because if you don't change, your mindset doesn't either. And if your mindset doesn't change, neither does your life. And remember, you all, we are not in a habit of convincing people to change their minds about anything. This is an individual thing. This is a personal thing. For you to change your life is personal. You have to be so out on wanting something different in order to achieve something different. No one can say you have to have this and then automatically you just begin to experience something different. But I think it's important that you are patient with yourself as you are gaining greater insights and you are growing to have a mindset that is able to switch, any situation without you feeling that constant feeling that you are not progressing. Again, we're trying to break that ceiling that says, you know what, I'm not growing, I'm not going anywhere. So if you get anything from today, just realize it's something that you have to be bought into. It's something that you want to do. And it's a personal choice to actually have a growth mindset. In order for you to actually want to be successful, you have to want to be successful, which means you have to put action behind abandoning those thoughts, feelings, habits, behaviors, and attitudes that keep you where you are, that limit you because of your thinking that, because of your thinking that makes you feel like you want to give up on you. And so just want to close out today to just say, I believe in having a mindset shift. I believe in setting your mind to become more successful. I believe in becoming more aware of who you are. I believe in understanding that your brain works like a muscle. So in order for your brain to work like a muscle, you have to train your brain. You have to train your brain constantly in order to get that. Like you have to allow yourself to develop a level of mental toughness that will strengthen your confidence as you experience things, so that setbacks don't throw you off, but you see those setbacks as actually lessons and you grow from those. I can remember, like, just real quick, I can remember like having conversations where we used to thrive on, girl, you ain't gonna believe this happened to me type of conversations, where that saying was constantly spoken. And it was because I was living from the place of, nothing bad is supposed to happen. Everything is supposed to go smooth in order for things to be better. And I realized that that was a concept or a philosophy that I believed that had to change, because I realized that everything is not going to be perfect, because people change, things change, things happen, and the sooner that you can get on board with understanding that there are things that happen outside of your control, you'll begin to realize that you have more control over your mind than you think you do. You have more control over your thoughts than you think you do. You have more of more strength, abilities, and potential inside of yourself that wants to get out, like it wants to come out. But you have to abandon the mentality that nothing is supposed to happen and everything is supposed to go perfect. If those experiences help you learn, but you have to see those as lessons and not as setbacks. I challenge you to consistently, how can I say this? Take risks that you probably haven't taken before. And I'm saying this because the greater the risk that you take on doing something new and gaining something new, the greater your mind grows, because it allows you to tap into areas in your brain that you've probably been locked out of. It allows you to increase your motivation and strengthen you in ways that you probably haven't. So give yourself some challenges sometimes. Don't just do what's safe. Don't just do what feels good. Don't just do what you see works for other people. Do something that you haven't done so that you can get something that you haven't gotten before. And I know you've probably heard that before, but it is honestly true. You have to challenge yourself. And not the challenge where that person said something to you and you didn't like what they said and you felt like they challenged you, because they disagree with you. I'm not talking about minute disagreements. I'm talking about doing something that you've probably been thinking about doing that is going to be a bit much of a risk. Challenge yourself sometimes instead of playing it safe, so that you can tap into those areas in your brain that sends those signals that can disrupt certain levels of thinking that have caused you to be stagnant in a lot of ways. Like you wanna disrupt some places in your brain so that you can start to experience a shift. You may need to exercise some of those muscles that you was like, you know what, I've been operating in fear and just doing a little bit here and doing a little bit of there. And that's why you probably get in a little bit here and a little bit there. So build yourself up, and allow yourself to push past avoidance and fear that you may be living in on a daily basis. The other thing is, start thinking better about yourself than you may be doing right now. Start thinking better about other people. I'm not saying give people the benefit of the doubt, but some of you all have allowed yourself to live in this world where people are bad people, or certain groups of people are just bad for business, right? And I'm not talking about just business transactions, but you all know you got certain groups of people or certain things that you may stay away from just because the nature and character of people. But don't allow that one experience with that one person to be the all in all for other people. Like, people are really different. I'm not saying give people the benefit of the doubt, but I am saying leave that experience with that person and learn from that, and then live your life in a way that doesn't pigeonhole people in general or at large in certain places. Allow yourself to think better about other people. There are people who change, and there are also people who are good people out here. And I think that they should be able to receive an opportunity to get to know you or to build a relationship with you, as well. Because I see sometimes you hold yourself back in the networking experiences, because a lot of times you're like, oh, I got my circle, I got my people. And while it's good to have confidence, but you have to be able to expand and grow. In order to expand and grow, you need people. So you have to change how you see people, and you also have to stop seeing other people as so much of a threat all of the time, so that you can start encountering opportunities that can yield growth. And you can grow too as a person that can maintain relationships, as a person that can grow relationships. I think that's important, that you allow yourself to that opportunity to live beyond the means that you do right now. I want you to also begin to understand that you're not going to master a new skill overnight. This is something that you have to practice. I see a lot of times, sometimes people learn things one time. They watch something one time. They heard something one time. And then all of a sudden, after watching something one time and learning something one time, all of a sudden they are experts and they want to dive deeper. They are experts. They are not diving deeper, is what I meant to say. Like, they are taking that one encounter and making it the all in all. So have some integrity and dignity about yourself to be able to learn something and actually be an expert in what it is you're learning, and not just put things out there. Allow yourself to try things and find out if it fits you, if that's what you want to do. That way you'll know how to build off of whatever it is that you're doing to gain momentum behind that new thought or that new concept. And you'll start learning different parts about it that could be made better, rather than you taking some experiences and just trying to live them without any true evidence of it working. Let's not be immature in how we teach, but let's mature ourselves to be integral as we move forward into things. And I think too, like, if you enter into that place of living your life like that, you're going to struggle because it's not yours. It's not something you believe in. It's not your true essence and true existence. And I think, again, that's that part about challenging other people to live their truths that I think is very important. And you may struggle in your mindset because you're not living your truth. You're not living up to the true essence of you. You're trying to make a elevator pitch or some sort of tagline true in your life, and you've never lived that. You never experienced that. That has nothing to do with you, and you could be trying to make something perfect and fit, and it's not you. And so as you move and you progress, I think for the sake of yourself and for the sake of the narrative of your thinking and the narrative of your life, is that you allow yourself the time that you need to shift your thinking, so that you can block any of those damaging thoughts that circle in your mind, those thoughts that have the potential to rob you of your opportunity to build new skills. And those skills could help you. It could help you secure your future. And I think that you should want to take some of these steps, examine your own life, and find out what it is that you're believing, what is it that you're living, and what is it that you're teaching that really isn't really you, and pivot in your thoughts. challenge yourself to find out what that is. I think we get so lapsed sometimes in feeling comfortable, or we don't like to feel uncomfortable or feel like we are outside of ourselves because it's uncomfortable. Like I've never met this person before, and so you don't know how that person operates. But I can guarantee you that if you allow yourself to enter into a new place of challenge and see challenge as good, then you'll be able to honestly open yourself up to a world that matters to you and a life that you love and enjoy living. And get rid of feeling like life is supposed to be painless. Get rid of feeling like life is supposed to be perfect. And if it goes a certain way, then you're failing. Like, abandon that thought. You're not failing, you're growing. Remember, life doesn't have a manual. So we're creating the life that we want to live right in front of us. We're creating these experiences that shape us. We're creating these moments that allow us to love and enjoy what it is that we want to do. And so shift your mind, change your mind about things, change your life, allow the, wisdom to manifest itself in your life, and wisdom is just the ability to make good decisions. Like, allow yourself to make decisions and weigh the options that are better for you, and then take that route, and you develop and create a roadmap that you fit in, that you want to do, that works for you. So I'm hoping that you all really gain something out of today, because a lot of everything is really attached to how you talk to yourself and the way you see yourself. And I think it's important that we understand that that's your individual responsibility to get greater, um, to get greater thoughts to enter through your mind, where you see yourself as better than who you have allowed yourself to pigeonhole yourself to be. All right. So you all know my 3 C's. My 3 C's always is to connect with yourself authentically, to commit to your own self-care, balancing your own life and taking care of your own business, and to do it consistently at a pace that works for you and not for other people. So if you haven't already, you can learn more too about My Secret Purpose at mysecretpurpose.com. And thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you next week at another Ask Christian Shields session. I may have a special guest for you all, so something beautiful coming in next week. And tune in and share this video if it was helpful to you and you learn new insights. And don't forget to leave your comments. I'll come back and kind of talk with you more about any new insights that you have experienced. Thank you so much, you all, and you all have a wonderful day.